Hello, everyone. I'm David Gussin
and Jodi Jacobs.
And welcome to
Hello,
Long Island. Jodi,
David.
Welcome. Happy week to you.
I know. Happy Monday.
We got some sort of promotion. We were first like a quarterly show. Now we moved to a monthly show, and now they want us on weekly.
That's
so
it. We're on-demand television now. That's it.
I hear that our ratings went up as soon as you came on the show,
Oh,
so I thank you for being here.
That's my family watching.
What, I mean, we kicked off the week last week with a busy week. I know you always have fun wherever you go. What's going on in Jodi Jacobs' world?
You know, trying to get everything set for the new year, trying to put out that next challenge. Tomorrow there is an open call for the 5-borough bike ride. If anybody wants to ride bikes through the 5 boroughs, I'm doing that this year again. It's the first Sunday in May.
I can't even ride around the block. How do you ride around all 5 boroughs?
It is time on a bike. Don't worry about it. You just get on it. But you go through parts of Manhattan that you've never been able to go through that are open to you as a bike. They close the streets.
I just, you know, your energy is like off the charts. You bike around the 5 boroughs. You decided you have a bucket list and you wanted to be in a band.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've been hanging out with some guys. I grew up on professional wrestling. In fact, my grandmother said, I'm not going to let you watch if you don't stop crying, but I did. And I love boxing and mixed martial arts, and I've never been in a ring. Yet I see that you're in a ring. Maybe on my bucket list, you'll get me into the boxing ring.
You know, I have just the guy. There's a guy, Steven Stone, at Title Boxing in Huntington. I can bring you down to see him. You can get in the ring, and you and I can even spar if you want to do that.
Actually, I don't know. I might fight in next year's LA Fight for Charity if you'd be my opponent. I think I'd appreciate that.
I'll be your promoter.
You'll be my promoter. Thank you. Jodi, we kicked off the year last week, not officially, but the business week. In fact, my Facebook post yesterday was Business Week 2, Take 1. Action.
Right. Well, you wanted to hit the ground running, and I know last week was busy. So we can get a recap of last week, and then maybe what's going on this week?
Well, we kicked off the show here last week, and then Tuesday night we were at Carlisle at the Palace, and the polar vortex could not stop igniting business. There was more heat in that room than the polar vortex was cold. Man, and then Friday, over at Chow Baby, down the road from our studios.
That was a packed house, too.
It's not even just... You could have 400 people in a room and nothing happens. You can have 4 people in a room and great things happen.
I've seen it happen.
And when it comes to business and making connections and stuff, that one we had a few dozen people in the room, but literally millions of dollars of business, whether it was a real estate function, whether it be homes being sold, new loans out there, commercial loans, title. There was so many people who didn't know each other that came together that were such professionals in their field. I don't know, to me it was magical. I loved it. And this week,
off the charts, right?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every day of the week, the Long Island networking world has something going on. Let me try to give it to you, and I'm going to be missing some. Viewers, get out your pens and paper, because this is some good info. I mean, today we got me and Jodi here.
Or get on your mailing list, because I know every Sunday morning David sends out a list of all the places that you have to be on Long Island that week if you're interested in your business and interested in growing. So if you're not already on it, you definitely want to get on your mailing list.
Well, yeah, thank you. We have a big responsibility. We get to cover the whole Long Island networking world. So check this out. We're here today. Tonight, and you know what, some people wouldn't look at it as a big event, but man, in Freeport, at the Freeport Library, this group has gone from 8 people to 30 people, and I'm sure they're doing business over there, right at the Freeport Library. Good stuff. Tomorrow, check this out. Tomorrow, there's like 5 events. We will be at the Old Pub in Belmore for the first time. I look forward to it. But Patricia Stein will have some real estate women taking place in Chow Baby. My friends at Blue Chip are
working. That's the Chow Baby in
Massapequa on this one.
Okay.
They actually hold every Tuesday night at Chow Baby in Comac Real Estate Night, but they also have a Massapequa location.
Right.
Tomorrow's is in Massapequa. Tomorrow also, Edmund Gano working with Blue Chip. They have they're saluting. They planted 1,000 flags at the Nassau County's executive offices. They have an event in season 52.
Right, I did.
The second networking event I ever attended, Entrepreneurs Networking, run by Yvonne Bitt. My point is, tomorrow there's like 4 or 5 events going on. Networking is about different.
Plan accordingly.
Yeah, different strokes for different folks. A lot of good strokes out there tomorrow. Wednesday morning, I'm going to be at the LIASB.
Okay.
The LIASB is the Long Island Advancement for Small Business.
Oh, great.
It's run by John Hill. John Hill happens to be one of America's foremost trade show experts. But John's passion is to help small business. One of our guests here today, Jack Signorelli, I believe, has been on the board with John. And, you know, these two men have so many years of wisdom. Always a pleasure to work with John Hill. Thursday night.
Can't wait for this.
Thursday night.
Big night.
Man,
Thursday.
my friends at Network USA, I hope you hear this shout out. You can expect 400 people at Jewel.
At Jewel.
And man, like I said, go into that room, work that room, shake hands, build relationships, make things happen. And Friday, we got another real estate luncheon at your mother's house. Not your mother's
My
house.
mother?
No, not your
My
mother's
mother's
house.
not cooking.
Your mother's house. Wonderful friend to the Long Island business community. Have you ever been there yet?
I have.
So you saw that they got the largest.
They've got a tremendous space, great video feeds in there as far as anything
largest
to do
TV
presentations.
screen in all of New York State. In fact, they
Right.
just they closed down the place for the Super Bowl, and they invite a private-only Super Bowl
Right.
party.
And
Great
management
place.
was wonderful working with us with anything that they needed. So
Love it. Jodi, before I have a guest, we have a new segment for the show. Are you ready?
I am. I think this is a great acronym for this. So yeah, take it away, David.
Yeah, the segment is called HA. As an HA, it's called Headline Analysis. So you ready for the first one, Jodi?
All right. Yep.
And you know, my whole thing, I started this thing because of headlines. And how they, so let's see, the first headline of the day in the paper is A-Rod. And I'm trying to think.
Pair of blood.
You a Yankee fan?
I'm a New York fan. I like to be politically correct.
Okay, I'm a New York fan. I like to. Does A-Rod drug scandal have anything to do with your life or affect you in any way?
If I had a kid in baseball and I needed to teach him not to do steroids, you know, yes, but not that it needs to make the front.
I don't know. I remember the movie The Bronx Tale where the dad told the son, does Joe DiMaggio affect your life? And the answer was no. Does A-Rod's drug scandal affect my life? What they put on the headlines affect my life? I think the answer is no. Goodbye with that. Sorry over there. Next scandal.
Exit
Not
stage
scandal.
left.
This one I give props to. While I threw A-Rod away, we usually make fun that the media leads with negativity, but no, this one led with quality info. Newsday, do it right or pay more. Crucial rules for Long Island's thousands who were substantially damaged by Sandy. But you know what's good about that today, Jodi?
We've got a wonderful guest.
We have a home improvement pro who deals with Sandy, work with people with Sandy, part of our LI business community, and we look forward to having. Before we get to our first guest, any last thoughts before we bring on some quality people here?
No, I'm charged up about all the events this week. I'm excited about last week, and yeah, let's bring them on. Let's show Long Island what we got.
Wow, okay. Man, we always talk about quality. Our first guest, his name is Jack Signorelli. Jack's a certified business coach, but Jack's also, there's a lot of business coaches out there, and like networking, different strokes for different folks. But Jack has a resume. He has a resume. Jack's the former president of Conoco Minolta. So the way I look at it, if he was able to help run this billion-dollar company, man, he'll bring us a lot of quality information to help Long Island small businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome our first guest, Jack Signorelli. Come on in, Jack. Happy New Year, buddy.
Mr.
Nice to have you
Enthusiasm,
here.
good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you, Jodi. Jack, it is a pleasure to have you here.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
It's funny, we bring on guests and we often tell them we could have a whole hour show with them. I would think we could have an hour show of
I'd like a
quality.
private consultation, though.
Maybe I could work that out for you. Jack, I'm often known for teaching others, but when I'm around you, you teach me. As the former president of Conoco Minolta, we've known each other for years.
Yep.
We try to give our audience quality info. First thing I want to ask you is, from being president of Conoco Minolta, and then the internet came around, and so much has changed from that. What's your take on it?
It's dramatically different. It's interesting. When I first started with Conoco, when I became the president of Conoco, I knew our plans were to go from the analog world to the digital world. And yet I knew that our sales force, okay, over 800 salespeople, were all analog people. Nobody knew about computers, nobody had computers at home. So I made the mistake of trying to get trainers to come in and give people training on computing. Okay, and that was a mistake. And the reason it was a mistake was that without utility, without practice, you know, it goes in one ear and out the other. It just doesn't work. It's a skill set. You have to practice a skill set. So we changed that to really function with getting computers into people's homes and into their lives. And once we started to do that, we saw that people then had a reason to learn and had a reason to work on it on their own. And then our sales force started to convert and understand the power of digital. So I was in the process actually of that conversion stage, the 80s and early 90s. And now today, obviously, most of us feel like we've got so much information at our hands. We have the other problem, it's overwhelming. Exactly.
Jack, when we were talking in the beginning, before the show started here today, I mean, we've known each other for a while now, and we've already mentioned, not here, but in the past, Tiger Woods has a coach. The best baseball hitters have a coach, meaning even the best athletes in the world, which is a fine analogy. Why would they need coaching? They're already a great athlete, yet they have coaches. But when we were talking, you told me something I didn't know. You have a coach.
I do.
So a coach has a coach.
Yeah.
A lot of people might think they're too small for coaches. A lot of people think they know everything, don't need a coach. You mentioned the word accountability that goes along with having a coach.
Yeah.
What's your take, sir?
In fact, that's why I have a coach. I know myself, I have a tendency to go off on tangents. So I'll do a speaking engagement, for example, at the LIASB or something like that, and I think it went well, and I say to myself, you know what, I could make a DVD, and I could sell DVDs, and I could do webinars, and I could do, and I
always
start
setting the next level,
yeah,
right?
But sometimes it takes me away from my strategic objectives, right, and what I want to accomplish. And my coach brings me back to reality and says, hey, Jack, that's great, but you said you were going to get 2 things done this week. Did you get those 2 things done?
Kind of like a life tour guide of sort.
It's accountability.
Minimize all
because
the shiny objects.
Yeah, if you're out there on your own, who are you accountable to? So just the fact that you've got accountability and someone else you've got to answer to. We're all by definition procrastinators, and the things we tend to put off are things we don't like to do and things that are strategic. They're not due right away. All right. A coach helps you work, take little bites of that elephant every week.
Right.
So that eventually you accomplish your goals, and that's why I have a coach.
I heard a great analogy once. It was called it said "Eat your frog," and that was if you could eat a live frog first thing in the morning, there was nothing else in the day that would be half as bad. So and it was basically getting at the point of how much energy you get sucked out of you when you think about the thing you don't want to do. So how do you approach that when you're coaching someone? Because we are procrastinators. Some people use it to kind of fuel the action. If I wait long enough, then I'm going to be able to focus and get it done. Maybe not take responsibility for it. But how do you work with something like that?
Great question. The coaching process really starts with helping the business owner define what their end game is. What are the real objectives? Nobody's in business just to be in business. There's got to be a goal at the end. I want to retire and live on the beach in the Bahamas. I want my kids to take over the business and build a legacy. I've got wonderful employees. I want them to own the business someday. Well, whatever that goal is, we start with that goal. And then from there, we start to develop strategic plans on how to accomplish those objectives, right? And then from there, we work the plan down to annually, then quarterly, then monthly, then literally weekly.
Okay.
And we say, okay, Jodi, can you get these 2 things done this week that'll help us accomplish our plan, okay, in the time frame we've selected. So it's constantly going back to what are the objectives, what are the goals, and that's why we're doing these little things every week. And then every 3 months or so, we sit down and we say, okay, let's review where we started and where we are now, and let's see our progress. Are we going in the right direction?
Daily,
Absolutely.
that gets you closer to that goal.
Yeah,
Terrific.
I know with my own coach, sometimes, sometimes he calls me on Friday mornings, and sometimes on Thursday night, I'm going, oh
You're
man,
panicked.
I didn't do, I
Didn't do my homework.
And that's that accountability piece, David, that you were talking about.
Yeah, answering to someone else instead of yourself goes a long way.
Absolutely.
To yourself, you might let it slide. When you're answering to someone else, there's a little bit of pride on the line that you want to show
It's
them.
like a personal trainer too. Sometimes you don't get up in the morning because you alone have to go to the gym. But if you've got to meet somebody there and somebody else is waiting for you, there's a lot that we do for others that we don't do for ourselves.
People like that. Mess with me, it's okay. Mess with someone I care about, watch out. I mean, everyone's
I know
like
that
that.
for a fact.
Yes. Jack, I'm often at events. When I speak at events, I could be in front of 500 people. people, I tell them, next person, if anyone would tell me the last 5 winners of American Idol, I offer you a free ad for the year. Nobody could ever tell me. You, as head of Konica Molten Ultra, I've heard you speak. You had billboards in every major league stadium across America. In fact, a record-breaking home run hit your billboard, yet you weren't able to quantify that any of those billboards in every major league stadium around the country brought you business. My point when I tell people is it's not about the grand slam. Business is about doing a cumulative effect of smart things over and over again and consistency. You've been there. You wrote the checks for those billboards. You don't know if you got business for it. We wish we had all day with you. Please give our viewers your 3 best tips to bettering their business in 2014.
Wow. Number one, recognize that you, like everyone else in this world, is not an expert in everything. Okay? And the problem that small business owners have is that they've got to wear all these different hats. They've got to have the CEO hat on. They've got to have the Chief Financial Officer hat on, the VP of HR, the VP of Sales and Marketing, VP of Finance, all of these different hats. And some of the hats aren't comfortable. They don't fit us well. Okay? When you get an opportunity to outsource that information, if you're not good at something, find somebody who is good at it and outsource it. Okay? Buy the best quality you can. It was interesting when you talked about this article. I know you're going to talk to Renee, who's terrific, but every mistake you make in business costs you money. And if you can avoid making mistakes, you can put a lot of money to the bottom line of your business. Okay? So look for someone who knows, who's been there and done that and actually knows how to do it. So if it's marketing, most people think they're marketing experts. Go to a real marketing expert. Go to someone who knows you've got X number of dollars.
We don't know anything.
Right, Go to someone who understands that you've got, I mean, you're not going to compete with Mindshare, with Konica, when I had $35 million budget, okay? We're going to beat you every time. So how do you the way you win that fight is by defining your target audience and then figuring out how to go after them and get, for the least amount of money, get the most penetration in that target audience group. All right? And that's where you use experts, like yourself. Don't try to do it by yourself.
Anyway, Jack, when I made the call to bring you on here, I knew I made the right phone call. We like giving our viewers quality, and certainly do. Any last thoughts for Mr. Signorelli?
Well, how does somebody initially come on to sign on with you, or even just to kind of try before you buy kind of thing? Like they want to meet you, they want us to be a synergy. How do people get in touch with you to see if you can help them in their business professionally?
Sure. Well, thank you. My email address is jack@soundviewadvice.com. Phone number 631-757-2936. And we start with really a complimentary coaching session. We sit down, and because every coach isn't right for every person, and I'm not right for every person. A big part of being a coach is becoming, in effect, a partner without equity. So if you're going to bring a partner onto your business, it's got to be somebody you really trust, you get along with, you've got some type of synergy. So find out if that coach is the right person for you. Okay? Thank you.
Jack, thanks for being here.
Thank you, David. I appreciate it.
Have a great year.
I'll call you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jack.
Man, that was informative, to say the least.
I am actually, I was the girl in the library that was always in the self-help section, like whatever those books were coming down, just trying to line up your personal life and your professional life, and then trying to set goals. And I love the accountability aspect, because we really do. We do a lot for other people. We don't do a lot for ourselves. The fact that somebody that has been proven can get a mentor or a coach shows that everybody needs one. So good idea to call Jack.
Yes. Jodi, there are over 100,000 Long Island small businesses.
Really?
That's why I'm told over 100,000 Long Island. That is the heart and soul of who we work with, the small business across Long Island. It's us and all that we work with. And I said we picked this up and we didn't throw it away like the other headline. It is about home improvement. And our next guest, he's the sponsor of today's show. But I really think his company's OMG Shower Doors, and that stands for Oh My Gorgeous Shower Doors, mirrors and glass. And we'll let him get a plug in about that, but I'm inviting this guest here today to talk about small business. His company's growing. He just hired a new employee. Tough times, people are complaining, but Rennie Gonzalez, the owner of OMG Shower Doors, he's hiring. But I used to own a dry cleaning store, And if I used to think if I just sit back in my dry cleaning store and wait for people to come in, I could be waiting there all day.
Right.
But if I took my one retail store and turned it into a portal of business activity, not only will I have people coming in, but I'll be reaching people.
And they'll be telling other people about what you do, so you kind of spread that.
That's what we talk about, creating activity.
now.
So in addition to putting in mirrors and shower doors and glass, Rennie Gonzalez creates activity. Let's bring him in, ladies and gentlemen. Rennie Gonzalez from OMG Shower Door.
Hey David, how you been?
Happy New
How you
Year,
doing?
buddy.
Rennie.
Yes, Happy New Year.
Is
Good
it
to have you.
getting too late to wish people Happy New Year? Should I stop
No,
that by
I think
next
yeah,
week?
no, it's never too late. Never too
Rennie,
late.
sorry about the Happy New Year. You're already
Great.
into the year full
I
steam.
think the whole January should be Happy New Year.
You know, every time it's a birthday, I think like major birthdays should be a whole year of
There you go.
celebration. If it's New Year's through January, you're good. February 1st, we got to cut it off.
Okay.
Rennie, OMG Shower Doors. How long have you been in business for? Family-run business. How long?
About 17 years now.
Okay.
And it's growing, you tell me.
Absolutely.
You've been-
Keep growing, keep growing. I guess we're doing the right things. We just keep hiring people. It's very exciting.
How has it changed over 17 years from where you started, particularly in David's point with as far as small business? How has it changed?
It's changed where I was on the other end. I was doing the actual physical work, and I would see people and talk to them, the customers, but I was just going from job to job. The way it's changed, basically on my end, is that now I'm seeing how it actually all ties together and how to just keep marketing and getting more people. And people just want home improvement. Everyone just wants to fix their house. It's just like a nice little
Their castle. They want
thing.
to-
It's their castle. Everybody just treats
But
it
there's
that way.
thousands of home improvement companies out there, as you know.
Right.
Yet you work it, buddy. I mean, like we could do a whole show with you, but you know, you're out there networking. You're starting your own little television show, and he's starting his show not for him and not for a commercial. He's starting his show on one way to get exposure, but for a platform for the people he works with to help better the relationships that he has there. I know there was a networking group that you were interested in stuff. So, at the small business owner, there's so many things to do. Give us some idea of what you do and how it works, and how it's obviously benefited you. So what's benefiting you?
Absolutely. Since I've met David, 516 Ads, I mean, it's been amazing. It's networking is not about, especially at the beginning, like when David says, don't go in there think you're going to get business. It's definitely not true. It's true that you're not going to get business, but you walk in there and it's a connection. You're talking to other business owners. What went wrong with my business, or if I had a bad day, you talk to someone else. We can go back and forth and give each other ideas. And now I've been networking, I guess, about a good 3 years, 4 years now, and it's just I've been getting quite a bit of business from it and a lot of knowledge. It's just
Relationship
been amazing.
partners. If you didn't
Yes.
network and you just sat in your store, you and your dad and your staff
Right,
would be
right.
sitting there.
Right.
Someone comes in and they don't come in. But now you go out there, you're shaking hands with people, other people in the home improvement industry as well that might not do the shower doors, mirrors, and glass. So all of a sudden that synergy is formed / business is formed, provided everyone does a great job at what they do.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, it's just about referrals. Big contacts for me are interior designers, contractors, architects,
sure.
and it's just it just mushrooms. It just keeps going on, and it's great.
And people like to do business with people that they like. So I think in these
Right.
networking circles, and David, you do a wonderful job of this, of bringing us all together. And so you get to kind of vet somebody almost on a personal, professional basis to see if you actually have that trust feeling with them or there's something there. And so you probably had a lot of that. You're very personable, instant likability, instant trustworthiness. So I think when people invite you into their home, they really want to know, hey, this is somebody that in my home I'll feel very comfortable with.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I'll walk in there, and from so much experience, I could just tell them right away exactly what is it that would look good, not look good. I mean, people want you to tell them, and I've been on that side. Now I'm on the sales side, and it just works out great.
Rennie, Long Island was hit heavily by Sandy, as we all know. Some people are just getting in their money in now, which is why Newsday has the cover, Do It Right, over 1 year after the storm. You're an expert, been doing it almost 2 decades. Just some pointers of what people need to look out for to spend their money most wisely and not get ripped off.
Well, the big thing now, of course, I'm a full glazing contractor, but the big thing now is shower doors. And I'll walk into bathrooms where they're already tiled, it's already all done, and they thought about frameless shower doors. and they're saying, oh my God, you know, I want this door to open, and it's like, well, you put the toilet too close, you put the vanity not in the right place. I'm like, I wish you would have called me before you even tiled, and I would have walked in and told you how to frame everything out. Tell you, if you really want that look of a frameless door, there's a certain way you have to construct the actual shower. And people are spending thousands on showers with the rain heads and all these controls that even before you walk into the shower, you can press buttons on the outside, and you walk in and it's already all warm and ready for you to go in. But yeah, that's one big thing. And I've had a couple of people that say, well, what could I do? Because I really want those shower doors. I'm like, we're gonna have to take this one wall off. So they did that, and now they're gonna spend twice.
So are you able to come in, so if anybody's just thinking about a bathroom remodel or they're rebuilding after Sandy, they should call you first to kind of look at what they're doing rather than start building that whole bathroom out?
Yes, yes. I mean,
Plan accordingly.
Plan, I mean, if that's the look you want, I mean, really, you should just talk to a professional and lay it out. I mean, a lot of people don't think about it too much, but they want this end product, but they're not going about it the right way.
Well, that's to Jack's point before about using an expert. You're not an expert in everything. So you might have figured out how to tile your bathroom in the first 2 bathrooms that you did, but when you get to that one that you really care about, call an expert.
Rennie, we have about a minute left, and I know from dealing with you for years, whenever people ask you about networking, sure, you talk about business, but you also talk about something else. You talk about how it's become a resource for you. That not just, obviously you want customers get busier, and obviously it's working for you, and I shouldn't have used the word networking. When you're involved in smart business activity, because if your networking doesn't equal smart business activity, it's just hanging out. But it's become a resource for you. You need something. You now seem to have like a portal of people that you've gained relations. It's almost like having family members take care of you. I've heard you speak about this. Give us your thoughts. Tell the people how this all works.
It's all on my phone. I have, I would say, dozens of people, anything from carpeting to marketing, sales. People ask me for windows, or they'll ask me for, just the other day was blinds. I recommend people within the network. It's been really good. Another thing I have done from networking, and I see a lot of, I got into a charity which is Rebuilding Together Long Island, and they seem to do everything they can for Long Island, for the disabled and for veterans. What we do is we'll build ramps. I've donated over, I'm going to say now about 3,000 almost shower doors and dollars, and it's just been really good with that. It's it's all volunteer work, but it does stem off to other business.
I don't know if you don't watch our show, if OMG's not a sponsor, but we talk about the way business and community works together so beautifully. Now tell me, we have about a minute. Any last word for our viewers, Rennie?
Well, this year it looks like it's just getting better and better. The economy is moving. People are shopping. They're going out there. They're fixing their houses. They're not just throwing money out. They are all studying, and they are shopping, and they're going from one place to another. But the economy is I see it from the construction side. It's moving, and when the construction and new buildings go up, then it just trickles down, and the economy.
And your
is
shop's
amazing.
on Merrick Road in Colpeg, right, buddy?
Yes, I'm in the same location for 17 years. Call me. I'm at OMG Shower Doors, and very good.
Thank you, buddy. Jodi, about 40 seconds left. Any last words for our viewers?
Get out your best outfits, because this week is going to be wild with networking things. I'll see you this week at a couple, either Chow Baby and definitely on Thursday at Jewel for Lime. So,
yeah.
How about you? Where are you going to be this week? Everywhere.
I'm going to be everywhere. I'm cloning myself. And hey, Joe, you know, as we do this week, it is an honor to sort of represent and kick off Monday mornings for the Long Island networking community. Rennie, we thank you for being able to do it. Mr. Signorelli, if you can hear me in the back, we thank you. And of course, Jodi Jacobs.
Always a pleasure,
I thank
David.
you. Ladies and gentlemen, from Hello Long Island, goodbye Long Island. We'll see you next week.